Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. We're getting you live coverage from the BJP headquarters in the national capital, where the Prime Minister is set to arrive. We've had, of course, the BJP President J.P. N.A.D.A. and some of the top ministers of the government already arrive at the BJP headquarters for their CEC. The Prime Minister's arrival is awaited, and the BJP has, of course, turned this into a celebration of sorts in honor of the Prime Minister because of the successful conduct of the G20 Leaders Summit in the national capital. We'll also go across to my colleague Arun, who's actually there at the BJP headquarters. Arun, a lot of anticipation building up. The Prime Minister is all set to come, and this was roughly the time he was expected today. Just give me a sense of who all others are present and what is on agenda today as this meeting commences.
Well, see, Shivani, we just saw BJP Chief J.P. N.A.D.A. entering the BJP office. He has gone inside. In fact, before him, Union Defence Minister Rajnath Singh had reached here. Bhupendra Yadav is already here. Ashwani Vaishnav is already here, and all other Delhi's member of parliament, they are also present at the BJP headquarters. So in a short while from now, we are expecting that Union Home Minister Amit Shah and then of course Prime Minister Modi will be reaching here. And before Prime Minister Modi goes inside the BJP office or the CEC starts, these people, BJP people who've gathered here from Delhi NCR will be welcoming Prime Minister Modi. You can see at this moment on the both side of this entry gate of the BJP office, BJP workers are waiting patiently and eagerly for Prime Minister Modi to reach here. And of course, we have seen a glimpse of that when J.P. N.A.D.A. arrived. They welcomed him with flowers and the slogans. Imagine what would happen if Prime Minister Modi would reach. So once he is welcomed, then Prime Minister Modi of course will sit with other CEC members. They will be discussing the candidates for the Madhya Pradesh Assembly election. Remember, the first list has already come out on the month of August, 17 August to be precise. 39 candidates were declared, and before this CEC meeting, of course, 2 days back, there was all crucial core group committee meeting which happened at J.P. N.A.D.A.'s residence, in which we are given to understand 60 to 65 names have been finalized for second and third list. Today we are told that only 30 to 35 names will be discussed before the Prime Minister Modi, and then of course either today or
it has kind of shifted the attention towards the G20 success, while of course the BJP, the electoral machine that it is, will focus on the upcoming state elections. Some of them they are in power in, so they're defending, and some of course they'll like to rest back. So all of that will happen, but as you can see, the festival, carnival-like atmosphere is because the Prime Minister is coming and close on the heels of the successful conduct of the G20, where India has been hailed as a consensus builder across the world with a lot of support from the West and East, all kinds of countries. That of course is what the BJP workers and party members are wanting to celebrate. My colleague Payal Mehta and Anshul are also tracking this meeting. Payal, coming to you, any chances that the Prime Minister might address this large gathering at the BJP headquarters?
Shivani, it looks pretty unlikely that the Prime Minister will in fact address the gathering, given the fact that there is no stage which has been prepared. Normally when the Prime Minister is set to address, a stage is already prepared on the other side of where we are standing. But it looks like the Prime Minister will come, and my video journalist P.K. Das is sending us the shots. It's a very difficult situation for the camera person to be in right now, given the fact that there's so much of crowd, so many people around, but he's trying to make an effort. That's the gate of the BJP from where the Prime Minister's cavalcade will be entering. He in fact will be walking in from here, is what we are given to understand. He'll be accompanied by the top leaders of the BJP. There are young, there are old, there are of course a lot of party karyakartas who are there. That place on the top where you can see the lights are glaring, that's the place from where of course the rose petals will be showered on the Prime Minister. This is the normal route that the BJP really follows when they welcome the Prime Minister. This being no different, Shivani, given the fact that the stupendous success that India's G20 run has seen is something that everybody is celebrating across the world. And leave aside India, because India is considered to be the mother of democracy, and the Prime Minister himself has said this G20 is a success of India, it's a success of brand India, and it is Sabka G20 is what has been explained as well. So there's a lot of work to follow. This is a celebration, which is one part. This is something which just happened very impromptu. The Delhi unit of it has been in charge of making the celebrations happen, but obviously there is work on hand. There is the CEC for the state of Madhya Pradesh to really happen. If you have time, I'll ask a couple of people around who are here, especially the women who've gathered here, to ask them what are they come here to tell the Prime Minister. आप यहाँ पे आइए, आप क्या कहना चाहेंगी प्रधानमंत्री से? क्या कहना चाहेंगी प्रधानमंत्री से?
हम उनका बड़े इंतजार कर रहे हैं, इतने इच्छुक हैं उनको देखने के लिए। पूरी पब्लिक देखो, इतना जोर शोर है। मैं इतना ही कहना चाहूँगी, मोदी जी की वजह से सब कुछ है यहाँ पर।
And there's a celebration. Shivani, if I can show you them here, my video PK Das will show you there's actually a celebrating mood over there. You can see women over there dancing.
Yes.
They're celebrating. It's a huge occasion because the Prime Minister's come back to the party headquarters just within a couple of days. And very interesting, Shivani, years before the Modi government was sworn into power, in fact, just before the Modi government was sworn into power, today was a day on which Modi was declared as BJP's Prime Ministerial candidate. Okay. So a very significant day in that respect as well. So obviously, we are awaiting Prime Minister Narendra Modi to come. He should be here anytime. He should be here in the next 10 to 15 minutes time is what we are given to understand.
All right.
The official time of the CEC was from 7 o'clock, so that's going to be delayed by a few minutes.
Absolutely.
But yes,
I think it's going to be delayed by quite a bit because the Prime Minister hasn't even arrived yet, and he's going to try and spend some time addressing, not if by words, but at least physically being present there with the public. I also have my colleague Anshul, who's been tracking this meeting. Anshul, what are the kind of reactions you're getting? Of course, there are a lot of predominantly party workers and supporters, but any ordinary individuals there as well, and what are the reactions you're getting through this afternoon?
So yes, since this entire event is inside the Bharatiya Janata Party national headquarters, the people who have arrived over here, they are all BJP workers, but yes, the kind of passion that they have for the Prime Minister, the gratitude that they have for the Prime Minister is something that is visible very, very easily on the ground. I'll ask my camera person to pan and show you around the kind of environment that has started over here, the kind of environment that is bringing to come up over here in the next few minutes. We are expecting the Home Minister Amit Shah to arrive over here, post which the Prime Minister will himself come over here and accept the kind of appreciation that has been shown to him by the BJP workers, because they say that this is the first time since the entire G20 has happened that the Prime Minister is coming to the BJP headquarters, and hence a grand welcome is something that is absolutely necessary. I'll just try and get in a word from a few people. मोदी जी आ रहे हैं यहाँ पे। G20 आपने देखा होगा, कैसा लगा जब G20 में भारत की एक उभरती हुई तस्वीर देखी आपने?
कौन सी भाषा में बात करूं, इंग्लिश में कि हिंदी में?
हिंदी में पूछा, हिंदी में बताइए।
अच्छा, नहीं, बहुत अच्छा लगा। G20 के समिट में मोदी जी ने और भारत ने इन सभी देशों का नेतृत्व करा और बहुत सारे लोग आए। बड़ा भव्य आयोजन था और उसी की खुशी मनाने के लिए, उसी की सफलता की खुशी मनाने के लिए आज मोदी जी यहाँ पे आ रहे हैं, तो इसलिए हम उनका स्वागत करने के लिए सारे आए हैं। बहुत ही बढ़िया कार्यक्रम था। हिंदुस्तान की छवि पूरे देश में बढ़ गई, तो इट्स वेरी गुड।
इतनी गर्मी है, इतनी ह्यूमिडिटी में खड़े हैं, थकान नहीं हो रही या उत्साह ज्यादा है मोदी जी को देखने?
भाई हमको इससे ज्यादा खुशी क्या होगी, हमें गर्मी नहीं लग रही। हमारे भारत की जो वर्ल्ड के अंदर अच्छा नाम लिया जा रहा है और सम्मान हो रहा है, इससे ज्यादा हमें खुशी क्या होगी देश के लिए। तो भाई हमारे को गर्मी नहीं लग रही, मगर हमें तो और जोश आ रहा है कि मोदी जी जो हमारे प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी देश के प्रधानमंत्री है, और ऐसा लीडर हमें कभी विश्व में नहीं मिलेगा।
इनसे भी पूछिए।
So yes, this is how the people are excited and elated about. Even in the humidity of the national capital, there is absolutely a lot of humidity that is on the ground. But yes, the excitement of the people who have gathered over here over the last 2 hours, and the numbers are still increasing by every passing minute. But yes, the josh of these people is definitely very, very high, and that is something that can be seen because not only the music but also the songs and dance and carnival-like environment is definitely that can be sensed out here at the BJP headquarters. Remember, the Prime Minister is also not supposed at this point in time to address the crowd as well, but even after that, the people have gathered over here just to get a glimpse of the Prime Minister, who has brought so much pride to the nation by successfully conducting the G20 summit. And
absolutely. Well, that G20 euphoria continues and certainly will continue for the party in power, which is the BJP. The Prime Minister all set to be welcomed, felicitated for the successful conduct of the G20 summit in the national capital. And yes, the conduct of the G20 summit is one thing. There's also, of course, the outcomes of the G20 summit, which the Indian government is being applauded for, not just by experts on geopolitics around the world, but even other global leaders. I want to thank our reporter headquarters for joining us. We'll keep going back to them. I also want to introduce Tuhin Sinha, BJP national spokesperson, who's joining us. Tuhin, this is turning out to be a gala affair for the BJP at the party headquarters.
Well, good evening, Shivani. Good evening, everybody. Well, beyond the obvious and the overt achievements of India's presidency during the G20 summit, we are all aware of the 4 key achievements: the Common Declaration, Delhi Declaration, the Global Biofuel Alliance, inclusion of Africa in the G20 body, making it G20+1, and the India-Middle East-Europe Economic Corridor. But beyond that, you need to understand that India has left an impact which remains unparalleled. I would say Modi ji has democratized G2 in every possible way. He has made it a people's movement. 255 sessions across the country in 60 cities over a period of 1 year. And that explains why the common people is involved with the success. For the first time, the common person, the common man on the street understands the implication of the success of G20 for India's future on the global stage. Secondly, we have all spoken about Antodaya. We are all aware of the principles of Antodaya and integral humanism of Deen-Dayal Upadhyay ji. I would go to the extent of saying that Modi ji has sown the seeds for the realization of Antodaya and integral humanism, the core principles of Deen-Dayal Upadhyay ji, at the global stage. India is going to be an enabler, a crucial enabler. India is going to generate employment in many other countries with this landmark, international Gati Shakti, if I may call that. And on the other hand, obviously, you have people like Rahul Gandhi who keep, being cynical about the India story, who keep heaping lavish praise on China's BRI at a time when India has given a better alternative for the whole world to see. So that explains why the people are really excited about this momentous occasion in our history. That explains the love and support for Prime Minister Modi after the successful G20 summit.
I want to quickly go across to my colleague Arun Dhata one more time. Arun, there seems to be some delay taking place. It's almost already 7:10. The meeting time was 7 p.m. I believe, as Payal mentioned, Home Minister Amit Shah is also yet to arrive.
Well, that's right. Any moment from now, we are expecting Union Home Minister Amit Shah to reach here. In fact, there is some sort of activity here. Senior leaders are reaching at the entrance of BJP office, which means that Union Home Minister Amit Shah would be reaching any moment from now, because we see the wait for these BJP Karyakartas is increasing, and they are just waiting for Prime Minister Modi's glimpse, and we are given to understand that from that gate which you see on your screen, Prime Minister Modi perhaps walk towards the main entrance of BJP office, and in that way these workers of Bharatiya Janata Party will be able to get a proper glimpse of Prime Minister Modi, and they will also be able to getting that opportunity to thank Prime Minister Modi by showering flower petals on him or by raising slogans in favor of the government and Prime Minister Modi. So in a short while from now, because the way activities are taking place here, senior leaders are coming at the front, which means that Amit Shah is about to reach. And once Amit Shah arrives here, because before Amit Shah we have seen Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, BJP Chief JP Nadda and other union ministers along with the CC members, they all are here, and the wait is getting over now. Once Union Home Minister Amit Shah enters the BJP office, then of course we will be expecting Prime Minister Modi to reach here, and that's what all these BJP workers who have gathered here from Delhi NCR is waiting for, the moment when Prime Minister Modi would be reaching here. So any moment for now we are expecting first Union Home Minister Amit Shah, and then of course Prime Minister Modi.
Okay. We'll keep our eyes on that. Arun, stay with us, as will Payal and Anshul, my colleagues who are actually at the BJP headquarters. Amit Shah yet to arrive, and of course then, or maybe along or close on the heels of that, we are expecting the Prime Minister to arrive too. There's not supposed to be a speech like the ones he has done from the ramparts of the new BJP headquarters in the national capital. But he is likely to, of course, meet and greet with the crowd that has assembled there at the headquarters. I want to go back across to Tuhin, who is with us. Tuhin, there's been a lot of talk about the G20 successful conduct and more, and sure enough, the government deserves the credit that it deserves. It cannot be taken away from it. But how big of an electoral impact do you see this having? Because, there are, of course, as the opposition would point out, and mind you, as we speak, the opposition India bloc's meeting has ended just a short while ago. For them, the issues that actually concern the common, ordinary citizen of the country are completely different.
I don't need to talk about the impact, global impact of it. The African Union president of the African Union has been raving about the contribution of India on the global stage. He believes that India is a bigger superpower. India is a bigger superpower today than China. So I don't really need to reiterate the global impact of the success of this G20 summit. But where the opposition is concerned, I think, when the opposition says that, there are issues with inflation, they just need to check their own data between 2012 to 14. I would say the opposition needs to be a little more gracious on an occasion like this. I really appreciate the attitude of Dr. Manmohan Singh and Shashi Tharoor, who have given full credit to India's diplomatic success, where 900 hours of effort was put in over a period of 9 months to arrive at a consensus on the Delhi Declaration. But, you have people like Rahul Gandhi, you have some other Congress leaders who still, poke fun at our G20 summit, who continue to crib about prime ministers. They find all kinds of alibis to crib about their own failures. But I think this is a defining moment for India. And in the next 3 to 4 years, you will see the impact of the impact on the ground of the India Middle East European corridor. You will see the impact of in the inclusion of Africa. All the investments that China had been putting in Africa would get replaced substantially by India. And I think, the 55 nations of African Union have been very candid in their praise, in their appreciation of India's role at the global stage. I think India has emerged as the undisputed voice and the leader of Global South. And I think the impact of it goes beyond what the present opposition of this country can really comprehend. They have limited abilities to comprehend such an important moment in our history.
Okay, there have been some voices from the opposition, though, even from the parties that are most critical of the BJP, who have applauded the current government for the successful conduct of the G20 summit and for its outcomes. I'm also joined by Kovai Satyan, who's the spokesperson of the I.N.D.I.A. Kovai, how do you see the aftermath of the G20 summit in the national capital? Do you see that this is one more edition in quote-unquote the legacy of the Prime Minister and the reason why he continues to be so popular, and the public will respond to this? Do you think this matters to the ordinary citizen, the conduct of such a big event and how the world views us?
Certainly, there is a positive aura, not only across India, across the globe. The person who walks the talk is the expectation from a leader. Modi, the Prime Minister of India, walks his talk. And he puts the nation as his topmost priority and the people of India as his topmost priority. And that gets resonated in the global arena. There is a positive vibe in the way he conducts himself and the messages he sends across to the people of India as well as to the world. And this is a landmark event as far as India is concerned. And the way it was held and the way it was carried out, the meticulous planning and the outcome of G20, which received praise across the globe from different political leaders, stands a testimony that no stone were left unturned as far as this event is concerned, and the inclusion of African Union is a masterstroke. While we can talk about it for hours together, while the opposition will definitely have their burn-all moments every time when we talk about the achievements, in the nutshell, this is a grand success.
Okay, we're getting some more movement we're witnessing at the BJP headquarters. Not sure exactly whose cavalcade this is, because we are expecting both Home Minister Amit Shah, and it looks like it is Home Minister Amit Shah who has arrived. So the Prime Minister is left, but Home Minister Amit Shah also there. Rajnath Singh and other ministers have already arrived at the BJP headquarters. There are, of course, other leaders who have also come. For example, Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister is also there. This is, of course, a CEC that is to discuss the candidates for the upcoming state elections. Madhya Pradesh is going to be very key for the BJP, given that they would like to extend their record there and continue their terms there. But looks like they could face a bit of a challenge because of anti-incumbency this time around. So they'd like to cut that. BJP tends to like to go for a lot of new faces. They do cut tickets quite a bit of their sitting MLAs. Could that happen once again? And of course, there are other elections in Rajasthan where the government changes hands every term. So the BJP would expect to come back to power there after Ashok Gehlot's term. And there is, of course, Chhattisgarh, Telangana and other states, some sooner than the others. But of course, the BJP CEC meeting on the upcoming elections certainly turning into a celebration of the G20 conduct by the government the weekend gone by. Okay. So the Home Minister Amit Shah has also arrived at the BJP headquarters. We're just awaiting the Prime Minister. Arun Thata, my colleague, is with us. Arun, only the Prime Minister left now?
Well, that's right. That's right. All other CEC members have already arrived. We just saw the visuals of Union Home Minister Amit Shah reaching BJP headquarters here for all important central election committees meeting, and in a short while from now we are expecting Prime Minister Modi to reach here at the BJP office. Of course, we saw Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, BJP Chief JP N.A.D.A, Union Minister Bhupendra Yadav, Ashwani Vaishnav and all other Delhi BJP MPs. They all are here at BJP office now. Prime Minister Modi is the one who left, and all these BJP workers have gathered here, just to see and welcome Prime Minister Modi. So their wait will only get over once Prime Minister Modi enter the gate. We are seeing that the entire route has been sanitized. There is a route for Prime Minister's arrival here. No other vehicular movement in that route. We are seeing, in fact, on the other side of the gate that there is no vehicular movement, which means that Prime Minister Modi, might be reaching any moment from now. All other members of CEC and union ministers are already present here in the BJP office, and of course, when we will see all these ministers and members coming out of the BJP office, that will be a signal that Prime Minister Modi is reaching. So at this moment, all the leaders are inside. Perhaps it will take 5-10 minutes more for Prime Minister Modi to reach here at
Arun, just give me an opportunity. I'll come back to you in just a bit. Let me just quickly go across some of the guests who are joining us. You mentioning it could take 5 minutes more for the Prime Minister to come. So Tuhin Sinha of the BJP is with us. We've also got A.I.A.D.M.K's Kovai Satyan, and Manojit Mandal, his political analyst, leans towards the TMC, is also with us. Manojit, let me come to you this time. It was, of course, expected that the government or the BJP as a party is going to make huge celebrations or make a big deal about the G20 conduct. And the opposition, might approve of it or not approve of it. But this is, as the BJP would say, another feather in Narendra Modi government's cap.
No, I think we will like to reserve comment on this particular event when it comes to election. BJP is always in this kind of mood to create uproar about some international events being part of their electoral campaign. We do not believe in this. We have a stated position for many of us that when it comes to foreign policies, we will be solidly behind the government. But it cannot be used for any political dividends. The fact remains that I think many of the G20 leaders may not be knowing how the oppositions are targeted in this country. In fact, today itself, the All India Trinamool Congress General Secretary, when he was supposed to attend this meeting of the coordination committee of the team India, he is being grilled by ED for no reason. Years he has been singularly targeted. I mean, look at the age of this person. He is barely 34, 35, and half the age of Mr. Modi, and he has been targeted for no reason. If there are any evidences against this person, you must, he has said that he show me the evidences. I am there to willingly, take any punishment. But look at the way he has been deliberately harassed. Not just Abhishek Banerjee, his family is being harassed for the last 2-3 years.
Okay.
Even his 3-year-old son was not spared by Shubhendu Adhikari. These things will not be known to the people who were our guests.
Okay, but let's not mix the two issues. There's always domestic politics in every country, and then there is, of course, international politics. Speaking about, what goes on as far as domestic politics is concerned, there's also a former chief minister who's been arrested in the dead of a night. So, there are, of course, all of these cases that go on in many different states. But I want to talk to you about the G20 success particularly. There is a special session of the parliament also coming in. We don't quite know the agenda of that session, but we do know that now on 17th, one day ahead of that special session, a joint parliamentary meeting will take place. The opposition has been a little bit cagey or a little bit, concerned about the agenda of the next session. We don't know what that is going to be, but certainly the success or the aftermath of the success of the G20 will continue, possibly even inside Parliament, Manuji.
I mean, I really don't understand one thing when you're talking about the internal democratic dynamics of this country and the treatment that opposition is being given for the last 5-6 years. How are you going about it? I mean, we are not hard. I mean, forget about how we are hard inside the parliament. I mean, you have all the data for in front of you, starting from that very famous farm law, when many for MPs were suspended, 19 of TMC's MPs were suspended for no reason, and ultimately the government had to take back the law. I mean, the same thing happened with one of the Congress leaders from Bengal, during the last session of the parliament. So even inside the parliament, opposition is not properly hard.
Okay. Let me take that to Tuhin of the BJP, who's with us for a few more minutes. Tuhin, can you respond to that? All of the euphoria and celebrations around G20, fine enough, fair enough, and many kudos to the government. But of course, there are other things to be done as we now focus shifts to domestic politics.
Shivani, I hate to say this, but we have seen the leadership quality of our country pre-2014. Do you remember the Sharmal Sheikh episode of 2009? Where the then Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh had embarrassed the country, by giving Pakistan a handle to beat India with. We have seen how India used to handle Pakistan at that point of time. So when you compare the present leadership with then, today we have made Pakistan redundant. Pakistan is absolutely redundant. After this India, Middle East, European corridor, China's expansionist moves are fading away. They are equally redundant. So this is the success, and I think we should have the heart to celebrate our success. We should take greater pride in our successes as a nation. And of course, we need to acknowledge that Prime Minister Modi's dynamic leadership is at the forefront of this transformation, is at the forefront of this change. We don't want to be we don't want to be apologetic about our successes like, the Congress Party has been of its limited success. We want to celebrate our success so that we also set an example for the future leadership of this country that Indian politics needs to transcend beyond local issues. I think, the success at the international forum is only going to improve things. It's only going to improve discourse even within the country.
Well, we are waiting the arrival of the Prime Minister at the BJP headquarters, and possibly as the quote-unquote special session of the Parliament convenes in a few days' time from now, we will have more of these exchanges taking place around the G20 conduct and success, and possibly some celebrations to be witnessed inside Parliament. Because, mind you, this is not just a special session for which it looks like the government has something up its sleeve. It's also going to be conducted from the second day onwards in the new Sansad building. So that's going to be an occasion to celebrate in itself. Let me also go back across to my colleague Arun Dhata joining us. Arun, looks like the people there having to wait a little bit more.
Well, see, Shivani, we are given to understand there is a slight delay, vis-a-vis Prime Minister's arrival here at BJP headquarters, because it is already 7:30, and the wait is getting longer for Bharatiya Janata Party workers who've gathered here from Delhi NCR. But we are told that Prime Minister Modi will come, but there is a slight delay, and we are also given to understand that Prime Minister Modi, the cavalcade hasn't actually started from his residence 7 LKM as of now. So perhaps because the distance, the time is somewhere around 8 to 10 minutes, which it will take for Prime Minister Modi to reach BJP office from his residence. Of course, the entire route will be sanitized. There will not be any vehicle on the road, but still it will take 8 to 10 minutes. So when Prime Minister Modi hasn't left from his residence, that means it will perhaps take 10 to 15 minutes more for Prime Ministers to arrive here. Meanwhile, of course, stage is set for Prime Minister Modi's welcome here. BJP workers are desperately waiting for Prime Minister Modi. All the other top leaders of BJP, they are already inside BJP headquarters, waiting for that signal to come from the PMO side, as to when they have to come out at the gate to welcome Prime Minister Modi. So in a short while, of course, we will be expecting Prime Minister Modi to reach here at BJP headquarters, and we will see, of course, all the top leaders of BJP will be lining up to welcome Prime Minister Modi at the entry gate of the BJP office.
Back to you, you're saying it could take a few more minutes. The PM hasn't left his residence. Let me also quickly go across to my colleague Payal, who's also at the BJP headquarters. Payal, how is the BJP looking at the challenges coming up ahead as far as the state elections are concerned? MP, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh particularly.
Shivani, these are the crucial elections ahead of next year's big election, which is of course the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. Now, in 2018 also the BJP did not do well in any of these elections. The BJP lost all the three states in the Hindi belt, whether it is Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh or Chhattisgarh. But obviously 2019 showed a different result. But the party also understands that in 2019 and in 2014 they won in Modi's name, and 2024 is no different. But assembly elections are entirely different as far as that is concerned from the central elections as well. So that's something which they are really looking at. Now Madhya Pradesh is where they did not have the mandate in 2018, but of course with Jyotiraditya Scindia bringing in people, they were able to topple that government of Kamal Nath and form a government over there as well. Madhya Pradesh, they tried, but they have not had any inroads and they were not able to topple the Gehlot government over there as well. Chhattisgarh is looking at pro-incumbency as far as Raman Singh, as far as Bhupesh Baghel is concerned. So obviously the BJP is aware of all these developments, and that's one of the reasons in the history of BJP, Shivani, they had never announced tickets and never had CAC meetings before the parliament, before the dates were announced. But this is here the BJP holding its second round of meeting as far as Madhya Pradesh is concerned. We're given to understand that possibly by the end of this month or early next month, they could announce all the tickets that are concerned as far as Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh are concerned. They haven't touched upon Rajasthan so far, but even Telangana, they'll be announcing their candidates pretty soon, because the BRS, which is the ruling party, has already announced most of its tickets, barring 4 as well. So it's a different set of an election. They do understand that you may have a very powerful government in the centre, but at the end of the day, India is a federal country, and India has a very significant federal structure in place. So if you don't have governments in the state, it's very difficult to implement certain rules and also pass certain bills within the states, and that also impacts the overall scheme of things, because that impacts your Rajya Sabha seats as well. So all of this, keeping all of these in mind, the BJP is acting swift, they're acting fast. The Prime Minister will be in Chhattisgarh tomorrow. He's going to be campaigning in Chhattisgarh tomorrow, so the campaign trail would have already begun. But it is ahead of the start, ahead of the announcement of the election days by the CEC. So it's quite a thing to watch out for in terms of the strategy that the BJP is adopting this time around.
Yes, as you very rightly mentioned, Payal, the strategies have shifted, and not just for the BJP. The strategies seem to be shifting across political lines, because everybody is wanting to kind of get off the blocks, not really waiting to see when the elections are going to be announced or what the exact dates are going to be, because of course there's a limited window, or a window that is known to everybody in which these elections are going to take place. So of course we've got 3 state elections coming up first, and then a couple others as well. There is some movement taking place on the street outside the BJP headquarters at the I.N.D.I.A Marg. I think it could well be the Prime Minister's cavalcade, but we're not sure. The Prime Minister is the one that is expected now, and as the visuals speak for themselves, a lot of the party workers, supporters have joined in. While this is a CAC meeting focused very much on the elections that are coming up, and a few states could well be a headache or two for the BJP, but the public and the party workers especially are overjoyed. There is still a celebratory mood, a mood of euphoria as far as the party is concerned. All right. It looks like, Payal, the gates are being opened.
Right, right, right. We try and bring in those visuals to our viewers because our colleagues Anshul and Arundhata, there are the vantage points from where the Prime Minister's cavalcade will be seen. I'm inside tracking the meeting of the CEC as well.
Yes.
So obviously, it's any time now that you will see the Prime Minister really come in as far as that is concerned. And you made a very interesting point, and I want to just continue on that. You made a very interesting point of BJP and the other parties coming out and announcing the candidates in advance. Now in Chhattisgarh, when they announced 39 candidates, out of those at least 10 or 11 seats were something that BJP never won ever. So that's the kind of a mandate they wanted to give to the people, give the candidates enough time to hit the ground running. And it's a very, very different strategy that they have adopted to campaign as far as those seats are concerned. That is, of course, for a discussion for another time. But yes, a huge welcome, and it's very hot. It's sultry conditions here at the BJP headquarters. much worse where my other colleagues are standing. But obviously we're waiting for the Prime Minister to really come, because every BJP karyakarta who's shown up at the party headquarters has been waiting for at least for the last 3 hours, awaiting the Prime Minister's arrival.
Yes, and we don't quite know if that has started yet, because certainly there is movement and the gates of the BJP headquarters were opened up at least partly, but suddenly there is no movement at all. Arun, you're also waiting there. Give me a sense of what the BJP leaders are saying on ground about the G20 success and why they feel this is so important, because while this is not directly connected to elections, and diplomacy and foreign policy is never the bread and butter topics of any political party in an election like the Lok Sabha elections, for Narendra Modi, foreign policy and taking India's voice to the world, connecting to the diaspora all around the world, those have been actually markers of his tenures. He believes quite strongly in that.
Well, that's right. And in fact, Shivani, if you remember, a few days back, former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh had given an interview. In fact, he praised the diplomacy of this government. So as far as foreign affairs is concerned, we had seen even opposition parties has in fact praised the government, the work which they've done. In fact, now I'm showing you these visuals. You can see any moment from now, the wait is getting over. Prime Minister Modi will be reaching these visuals. You can see the top union ministers are, holding that flower in their hand on one side, and on the other side, of course, you will see B.L. Santosh meeting B.S. Yadurappa and all other, Sudha Yadav, I can see. She's also the member of CEC. Iqbal Singh Lalpura, he's also member of CEC. B.L. Santosh meeting him. On one side, you have these CEC members, having that flower in their hand, and on the other side, right at the entrance of the BJP office, you have Narendra Singh Tomar. I can see, Shiv Prakash is also there. And in fact, Devendra Fadnavis is there. Shivraj Singh Chauhan is there, waving at the BJP workers. Kailash Vijayvargiya is there. V.D. Sharma, the BJP state head of Madhya Pradesh. They all are outside, which means that any moment, in fact, the gate is also opened there. So any moment from now, we are expecting Prime Minister Modi to enter from that gate. B.L. Santosh is standing there. In fact, he's the BJP National General Secretary organization, very powerful man. On one side you have BJP CEC members, and on the other side all the top union ministers and the top leaders of BJP. So the middle path is completely vacant, of course, so that people who are present here, they can see Prime Minister live, and people who are not present here, they can watch Prime Minister Modi's glimpse through our cameras. Therefore, that is the reason why you see this passage is clear, through which Prime Minister Modi will be entering, and all these people who are standing on the both side of this entrance, they will get opportunity to welcome Prime Minister Modi through showering flower petals on him, and also chanting his name, as they have already started doing. So any moment from now we will be expecting Prime Minister Modi's entry, and of course it's going to be a very short span of welcome, because Prime Minister Modi will enter from that gate. He will accept the thank and welcome of the BJP workers, and then of course he will be welcomed welcomed by BJP leaders at the main entrance, and then he will be heading inside the BJP
So,
office.
Arun, just give me a couple of minutes before I
meeting.
come back to you. The Prime Minister's cavalcade almost set to arrive. Let me take a quick final comment from our guests, Kovai Satyan and Manojit Mandal as well. Kovai, first to you, 30 seconds please, on what role you see diplomacy and foreign policy make in how the public chooses the Prime Minister next.
No, there is a paradigm shift in the way things are moving for India. The American support for UNSC is a positive indication. There are already talks about India getting included in the NSG, nuclear supplier group. So these are all global politics which probably the common man might not be able to understand. What the common man's pride will be like, India rising its head high in the global arena. From the land of snake charmers to the land where it has got global importance is what the common man is able to understand. The people have seen the transition of India's image locally as well as globally. I think they are taking pride on that. We are holding our head high among our fellow Indians as well as who are there in abroad, who are Indian citizens working in abroad, also keeping their head high, stating that as I am from India.
Okay, Kovai, thanks a lot for joining us. Let me also give a final opportunity to Manojit Mandal as there is some more activity taking place at the BJP headquarters. The leaders are stepping towards the gate to welcome the Prime Minister, it seems. But Manojit, 30 seconds. This could be the Achilles heel of the opposition bloc, isn't it? The fact that you don't have a face to match the credentials of the Prime Minister. People are asking, who's going to lead this alliance? In fact, Mamata Banerjee was asked this question by the Sri Lankan Prime Minister.
First of all, India has never been the country of the snake charmers. That's the Orientalist description given by the West. Please don't use this kind of word. India has always remained a fascinating country for the last 5,000 years. Forget about the credentials. I mean, we certainly don't criticize what the Prime Minister is doing in G20. But we know that internally the country is in doldrum. Even 1 month back, we were talking about how Manipur was burning. We know how the price is rising. I mean, these issues are very much there. And on top of that, how the opposition is treated in this country. A country's internal democracy could be recognized by the way opposition is given the space inside the parliament and outside the parliament. On both the counts, I think this government has terribly failed. They have used their long arms, income tax, ED and CBI, to muzzle the voice of the opposition. And inside the parliament, they have used the chair of the speaker to muzzle the voice of the opposition.
Okay, but Manojit, you didn't answer my question. Don't you think for the public it is important to know who the Prime Minister will be when they vote in the Lok Sabha elections?
I repeat, there are 12 candidates who could potentially be the Prime Minister, and all of them were quite senior to Mr. Modi, including my Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. When Mr. Modi was not even known in Indian political scenario, Mamata had remained the railway minister incidentally in the Vajpayee government in 1998. So that's it. There are people who could potentially lead this country, and this country, I repeat, under Mr. Modi, I mean, the markers of democracy that I have mentioned is not really running that way. You may create this euphoria, that's fine. G20 was success, you may create that euphoria, but internally, the internal democracy of this country is not really functioning properly.
Okay, Manojit, I do appreciate you for joining us. Thanks a lot for those comments. We see Rajnath Singh, Amit Shah and others standing with what seems to be a flower stem with them to welcome the Prime Minister. And it looks like finally the Prime Minister will be arriving. Some delays have taken place, so he's arriving pretty late. The timing was pre-7 p.m. Because the meeting time was 7 p.m. But clearly that meeting is going to be delayed now. Let me quickly go back across to my colleague Payal as well. All right, Arun, my colleague, is continuing to be with us. So, Arun, it looks like it's going to be just a minute or so now.
Well, that's right. All the BJP leaders are outside, the likes of Rajnath Singh, Union Home Minister Amit Shah, and you have B.S. Yadurappa, Satyanarayan Jatia, B.L. Santosh, Sudha Yadav, Iqbal Singh Lalpura. These are the people who are part of the Central Election Committee, and BJP Chief JP Nadda is right outside. They are at the main entrance. So what will happen that Prime Minister Modi will enter from that gate, and he will be welcomed by BJP Chief JP Nadda there on the outside gate, and then perhaps both of them will come by foot towards the inside gate of the BJP office. You can
So
see
we're getting
the visuals
of
the Prime Minister's
cavalcade actually entering the BJP headquarters gate. These are the visuals that are coming in. So it is already being showered with a lot of petals. We can't even see the Prime Minister actually sitting in the front seat because the petals are showering from top. He's getting out where the gate itself is, or coming a little bit ahead, where the BJP leaders and ministers, government ministers are waiting for the Prime Minister's welcome. Yes, Arun, so the Prime Minister's vehicle has entered the BJP headquarters. I think he's just about to exit now, and will be soaking in all the adulation and the felicitations of not just the BJP workers, but of course top government ministers there, state chief ministers and deputy chief ministers of the BJP also there at the BJP headquarters. And there is the Prime Minister being showered with petals, flower petals, and being welcomed at the BJP headquarters. Arun.
Well, that's right. This is the first glimpse of Prime Minister Modi, and both JP Nadda, as he welcomes Prime Minister Modi, will be walking towards the main entrance of BJP. And of course, you will have BJP workers on the both sides of this entry. They have their mobile phones out, and Prime Minister Modi, in fact, you see, started waving towards the crowd, the gathering, the BJP workers who've been waiting here patiently for Prime Minister Modi. It's because it's been more than 3 hours since they are here at BJP headquarters. Now you see the visuals. BJP chief JP Nadda accompanying Prime Minister Modi, and Prime Minister Modi ensuring that every bit of the corner is covered, where he's waving to these BJP workers, because he knows that these people have been waiting for Prime Minister Modi for a long time here at BJP headquarters, and therefore Prime Minister Modi getting out of his car and covering the distance from the main gate to the inside gate by walking on the route. And in fact he is he's coming with BJP chief JP Nadda, and on the other side you can see of course Rajnath Singh, Union Home Minister Amit Shah, and Shivraj Singh Chauhan, and also you have Ashwani Vaishnav, you have Bhupendra Yadav. They all are waiting here for Prime Minister Modi. They all will be welcoming Prime Minister Modi. But right now you see that Prime Minister Modi in the middle of that road, where he will, in fact, he's waving his hand on the both sides of the road. BJP workers are in fact showering Prime Minister Modi with flower petals, and also raising the name of Prime Minister Modi for the grand success which he achieved vis-a-vis G20 is concerned. You can see Prime Minister Modi once again waving both hands and thanking the BJP workers who have gathered here to welcome Prime Minister Modi. And in fact, by this gesture, and in fact he's been saying this, that this achievement is not of government only. It is about the people of this country, because without their participation, the manner in which they planned the events in the entire country wasn't possible. So therefore Prime Minister Modi giving that 2 to 3 minutes for people to actually welcome him from the main gate to the inside entry. Now it is coming to the top leaders, Rajnath Singh at the front, welcoming Prime Minister Modi, giving that flower. Of course, Union Home Minister Amit Shah, you have the Yadurappa, Satyanarayan Jatia, B.L. Santosh, Sudha Yadav, Iqbal Singh Lalpura. These all are going to sit with Prime Minister Modi in that CEC meeting, all crucial CEC meeting. And on the other side, of course, you will have Shivraj Singh Chauhan, the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, because it's Madhya Pradesh today which will be discussed in the CEC meeting. You have Devendra Fadnavis, Shiv Prakash, Ashwani Vaishnav. Now Prime Minister Modi has entered the BJP headquarters. So in a short while from now, after this grand welcome by BJP workers, we will be seeing that the BJP CEC will get into action and sit to decide the candidates for Madhya Pradesh Assembly election. So Prime Minister Modi, along with all other senior leaders, have entered the BJP office, and in a short while from now, CEC meeting will begin. And all these people of Bharatiya Janata Party who are waiting for Prime Minister Modi for a long time have finally managed to get the glimpse of Prime Minister Modi and got the opportunity to actually welcome him by showering flower petals on him and also shouting his name loud and clear here at the BJP office.
Absolutely. The Prime Minister is now inside the building. Arun, thanks a lot for taking us through that entire period when he was being welcomed, outside. And of course, Amit Shah, Rajnath Singh now heading towards what it looks like the meeting. The Prime Minister also being escorted by BJP President JP Nadda inside. So the Prime Minister receiving a grand welcome, and there are actually quite a few hundreds of people there, BJP supporters. They are also making their way out now. For barely 2 minutes of glimpse of the Prime Minister, a lot of these supporters were standing there for well over 3 hours in sweltering Delhi weather. Senior leaders of the BJP have welcomed the Prime Minister, including the BJP President, with flowers, flower petals, a stole, and of course, more flowers today. My colleague Payal is also there inside the BJP headquarters. Payal, that meeting is all set to begin. It was a grand welcome, but a short one because the meeting is pending.
Yes, it is going to be work first as far as the BJP leadership is concerned, and that's something which has been an evident trademark over the last 9 years as they build up to the next set of elections in 2024. Having said that, the visuals show one thing very, very clearly, that while most of the leaders have moved on and gone to the 5th floor of the building where, of course, the CEC meeting is going to take place, but I did see Prime Minister Narendra Modi and JP Nadda walk into JP Nadda's office in the ground floor. So they're probably going to sit down for some time and have a separate set of meetings as well, because JP Nadda is the party's national president. He's somebody who's in charge of the party. He's somebody who plays a very, very important role, and you have upcoming elections in the state as well. So obviously, the Prime Minister is likely to have a short little meeting with him and discussion with him. And of course, now we can see that all the other leaders, and I did see Home Minister Amit Shah, I did see, Rajnath Singh and other CEC members head towards the 5th floor of the building, where, of course, in the conference room, they're going to have this meeting of the CEC. State leaders are already present over there. Shivraj Singh Chauhan was there. There is, of course, B.D. Sharma, who's the party's state president for Madhya Pradesh. Ashwini Vaishnav, who's the co-in-charge. Bhupendra Yadav being the election in charge of the state of Madhya Pradesh. So all of these leaders have gone inside as well. And it's going to be a very, very crucial meeting, like I said, because, the BJP is looking at getting the early advantage. The BJP announced its first list of candidates for Madhya Pradesh already. They're looking at probably releasing a second list of names, and what I was given to understand by way of sources is that, Shivani, they will be in all probability announcing all the tickets ahead of sometime late next month. And obviously now you can also see that it is a very, very crucial step given the fact that the BJP understands the seriousness of this election. So 2019 was different and 2024 is extremely different as well. The BJP did not have the mandate as far as Madhya Pradesh is concerned. They were looking at massive anti-incumbency in Madhya Pradesh, and that's one of the reasons the elections did not go as per their prediction in 2018. But yes, of course, with the help of Jyotiradittya Scindia, who was able to bring in a lot of MPs, MLAs with him, the BJP was able to topple that government of Kamal Nath. But in 2023, when we're going to have the Madhya Pradesh election in a couple of months of now, there is, of course, all the power and the might that the Congress Party is also putting behind Kamal Nath as well. So that's a very interesting election to watch out for. And it's a very, very important election given the fact that Shivraj Singh Chauhan is one of the oldest serving chief ministers of the state.
Yes.
And the Madhya Pradesh is the oldest organization of the BJP in terms of the organization structure.
No, absolutely. And while they didn't win the last elections, they did come to power. So again, the anti-incumbency factor comes back to haunt the BJP, even though they weren't the winners of the last election. So it's going to be an interesting few elections, especially Madhya Pradesh. Rajasthan, we know that it tends to go one way or the other every term. But Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh are possibly where the BJP could want to save any, discomfort that they could face. On that note, our live coverage of the Prime Minister's arrival at the BJP headquarters ends. A big thanks to our reporters and also our guests for joining us. I'm slipping into a very short break. My colleague Anand Ranganathan joins you on the other side with the right stand.
Let's move to West Bengal. As far as West Bengal gets, what TMC sources are telling us is that apart from Murshidabad and possibly Malda, the Congress cannot win seats in the state. We've been hearing what Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary has been speaking out against Mamata Banerjee, most recently being on the presidential banquet for G20 delegates, where he asked that why was Mamata Banerjee present there? Was she trying to pin over or placate the BJP? It is very, very clear that there is no love lost between the two sides, but he requires to attack Mamta because that's what his politics is all about. That's one problem. But can the TMC and will the TMC agree to give more than 2 seats to the Congress party? I don't think so. Same problem in Delhi, where the Congress has 0 in both the assembly as in Lok Sabha. The AAP also doesn't have any Lok Sabha seats, but they think by virtue of the fact that they are in power in Delhi, they can at least win more than a Congress can. So these are those tricky areas which really need to be sorted about. And I think the last time round, as we reported at the Mumbai meeting, the grudge of, say, Mamta Banerjee, Arvind Kejriwal, even RJD and JDU was that why hasn't the resolution put down the kind of a deadline on when these seat sharing talks should take place, because time is clearly running out. We also know that this coordination meeting is taking place in the backdrop of Abhishek Banerjee being given an ED summon, Chandrababu Naidu's arrest. What they're going to also raise the point is this is deliberate witch hunt. We all need to come together in the days to come. There's a possibility that similar kind of action may be taken against many of the other India front leaders as well, but we are not supposed to be daunted by that. These are going to be the inherent problems within coordination. How is it going to be? Will it be a joint campaign where they'll come together and campaign as far as the local or state elections are concerned, which are coming up? I think the first baby step is really going to be taken as far as the first coordination committee meeting goes. But the first big step is going to be taken towards seat sharing and the India front meeting. As the first meeting of the coordination committee takes place at Mr. Sharad Pawar's residence, a couple of important challenges as well as messages. Now, Mr. Pawar, of course, because he's a veteran politician and someone who perhaps there's a hope can reconcile the differences within the India front. So therefore, the lead has been given to him. Now, what has been decided, as we have been reporting earlier also, that at least on 440 seats, there would be only one joint India front candidate to be put up against the BJP or N.D.A. so as to ensure that there is no division of the anti-BJP votes. But this again is easier said than done. Over the last few days, we have been seeing lots of conflicts. For example, Bhagwat Mann, the Punjab Chief Minister, made it very clear that at least in Punjab, he's not going to give even a single ticket to the Congress. Congress has been in power in the state. They also have a large number of MPs from there. Would they really accept the situation? No, because the winnability criteria according to the Congress applies in Punjab because they think and they know that they can win from the state. How do you reconcile that? Let's move to West Bengal. As far as West Bengal gets, what TMC sources are telling us is that apart from Murshidabad and possibly Malda, the Congress cannot win seats in the state. We've been hearing what Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary has been speaking out against Mamta Banerjee, most recently being on the presidential banquet for G20 delegates, where he asked that why was Mamta Banerjee present there? Was she trying to pin over or placate the BJP? It is very, very clear that there is no love lost between the two sides, but Adhir requires to attack Mamta because that's what his politics is all about. That's one problem. But can the TMC and will the TMC agree to give more than 2 seats to the Congress party? I don't think so. Same problem in Delhi, where the Congress has 0 in both the assembly as in Lok Sabha. The AAP also doesn't have any Lok Sabha seats, but they think by virtue of the fact that they are in power in Delhi, they can at least win more than a Congress can. So these are those tricky areas which really need to be sorted about. And I think the last time round, as we reported at the Mumbai meeting, the grudge of, say, Mamta Banerjee, Arvind Kejriwal, even RJD and JDU was that why hasn't the resolution put down the kind of a deadline on when these seat sharing talks should take place, because time is clearly running out. We also know that this coordination meeting is taking place in the backdrop of Abhishek Banerjee being given an ED summon, Chandrababu Naidu's arrest. What they're going to also raise the point is this is deliberate witch hunt. We all need to come together in the days to come. There's a possibility that similar kind of action may be taken against many of the other India front leaders as well, but we are not supposed to be daunted by that. These are going to be the inherent problems within coordination. How is it going to be? Will it be a joint campaign where they'll come together and campaign as far as the local or state elections are concerned, which are coming up? I think the first baby step is really going to be taken as far as the first coordination committee meeting goes. But the first big step is going to be taken towards seat sharing and the India front meeting. As the first meeting of the coordination committee takes place at Mr. Sharad Pawar's residence, a couple of important challenges as well as messages. Now, Mr. Pawar, of course, because he's a veteran politician and someone who perhaps there's a hope can reconcile the differences within the India front. So, therefore, the lead has been given to him. Now, what has been decided, as we have been reporting earlier also, that at least on 440 seats, there would be only one joint India front candidate to be put up against the BJP or NDA, so as to ensure that there is no division of the anti-BJP votes. But this again is easier said than done. Over the last few days, we have been seeing lots of conflicts. For example, Bhagwat Mann, the Punjab Chief Minister, made it very clear that at least in Punjab, he's not going to give even a single ticket to the Congress. Congress has been in power in the state. They also have a large...
Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I'm Anand Ranganathan. We begin with a grand welcome for Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the BJP headquarters as the party Karyakartas, senior leaders and functionaries within his government and cabinet congratulated him on the success of the G20 summit in New Delhi. He was felicitated by the cadre and it was a grand celebration of the G20 success. Prime Minister arriving to great number of cheers and hoots from the Karyakartas who had assembled at the headquarters, and then he was greeted by the Union Home Minister Amit Shah, the Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, and of course BJP National President J.P. Nadda, along with a host of other leaders and functionaries of the BJP.